Hello class, and of course this is IS 303, Information Systems Management, and we're going to take a look at your upcoming case, which is Appirio, New Venture on a Cloud. Now this case is about Appirio, which is a company that helps other companies move operations to the cloud. In this case, you're going to do a SWOT analysis of Appirio. You're going to use the Appirio case and articles about cloud computing from the internet to prepare your individual SWOT analysis. And you're going to take an in-depth look at what the benefits are of moving to the cloud. So let's look. What is Appirio? It's a consulting service that specializes in cloud services. They consider themselves to be a pure play. Their server room is just a phone switch. Now, Appirio had early success. It began in 2006. It formed strategic partnerships with Google and Salesforce.com. It was determined to find and screen for the right people. It experienced rapid growth from 0 to $10 million in sales annually, and they're looking to hit, or their goal is $100 million. So let's look at cloud computing. What is cloud computing? According to NIST, and this is the National Institute of Standards and Technology, first off, it's convenient. It's on-demand network access to. And of course, this would be access to whatever it is you decide to transfer to the cloud. It offers configurable computing resources. The various resources is networks, servers, storage, applications, services, and security. And of course, a company may decide to take advantage of one or a combination of these resources. It allows rapidly provisioning resources with minimal management effort or service provider interaction. Typical IT operations involve 70 to 80% of the time is spent on just keeping the lights on, just keeping updates done, patches installed, just the day-to-day routine things. Effort is spent managing the complexity and the updates, and it squashed IT support when it comes to innovation. They just don't have the time to spend on innovation because so much of their time is just spent on the basic mechanics of keeping things going. So let's look at what has driven Appirio's dramatic growth. First, it was an early mover, and they focused on small businesses. They were educating companies and guidance of CIOs on the benefits of cloud computing. It was pretty much an easy sell to get companies to offload non-core functions like email, CRM, HRM, those kinds of things. And they were able to show dramatic cost savings for the early adopters. Appirio had 4 core beliefs in 2006. Number one, software as a service will become a revolutionary trend. Two, in 5 to 10 years, enterprise IT will begin to realize the value of the cloud. Three, enterprises need to be educated on the value of the cloud. And four, CIOs need guidance to realize the agility and the cost savings that can be achieved from cloud computing. So, what does cloud computing change? Well, we talked about cost savings. It saves as far as hardware and staff. It speeds up project implementation. It provides increased agility so that you can respond to problems and opportunities when they come up. It changes IT's role. It changes IT from a gatekeeper and a project bottleneck to a traffic cop, coordinating efforts, strategic partner, technical support for projects. So it frees up a lot of their time from just the daily grind. Now, looking at the future of cloud computing, Appirio considered company size. They began with small companies. However, large companies are now moving IT functions to the cloud. But which IT functions are they moving? As we said, the non-core functions are an easy sell. But what would it take to convince a company to move their core functions to the cloud? We want to look at what might hurt or delay more companies moving to cloud computing. What about a data breach? Slow telecom growth. These are possibilities. It's enabling new types of companies like fabs and chip design. But what unique work or life experiences which would enable you to discover and preclude others from discovering an entrepreneurial opportunity here? I want to throw this back up here for you, and you can refer back to your first case, the pub, where you did a SWOT analysis. And this is just to remind you that your strengths and weaknesses are internal to the organization. Your opportunities and threats, those are coming from the external environment. So just keep this in mind as you do your SWOT analysis. So what you will do here, conduct a SWOT analysis for Appirio. Of course, in your analysis, you're expected to use traditional sources such as online journals or magazine articles, reports, press releases, anything that you can find with information about Appirio. You may also find information in bulletin boards or tech forums. You will decide on the strengths, weaknesses, threats, and opportunities of Appirio. Now, you are not going to list, I'm sorry, that jumped automatically. You are not going to list your SWOT analysis in your case choice posts. You're only going to use these findings, the analysis result, in answering the questions. Question 1. This question is where you will list your findings. Example, I believe that Appirio's strengths are da da da. And you don't have to list all of them. You can just list a couple of strengths, couple of weaknesses, couple of opportunities, couple of threats. And then using your structured white space, you'll start your support statement because, and tell me why you think these two things are strengths of Appirio. You're going to do the same thing, so it's like a four-part question. You'll first list a couple of strengths and tell me why those are strengths. Then you'll list a couple of weaknesses, tell me why. List a couple of opportunities and tell me why. And list a couple of threats and tell me why. And you're allowed 75 words for your support statement for each of these four parts. In other words, you have 75 words to tell me why this and this are strengths of Appirio, and so on for the rest of the question. Question 2. Switching gears just a little bit here, we're going to do a scenario. In this scenario, you are a young programmer in the banking industry, and you have a great idea for a software application for small businesses that simplifies a previously time-consuming payroll and banking task. You've raised some money from your savings and from friends and family. You and some fellow programmer friends are exploring ways to turn this idea into a business. You have done some initial development work on a PC that you have at home, but you need more computing resources, and it's now time to take this project to the next step. So you are exploring the opportunities that the cloud offers. Okay, so here's the question. Which option below is the most important to you at this particular stage of the project? And of course, you're going to want to give substantial support for your choice. Is it A, agility and flexibility, the ability to rapidly provision and re-provision the technological infrastructure resources that you need? Is it B, cost, fine-grained pricing of computing resources based on usage and needs? Also means fewer IT skills are needed for implementation. C, scalability and elasticity through the dynamic provisioning of computing resources. Is it D, reliability, which of course is improved when multiple redundant sites are used? Or is it E, security, which is improved through the centralization of data and increased security resources? So you're going to choose, given this scenario, which of these options you believe is the most important at this particular stage of the project, and use your white space, your structured white space format, and give substantial support for your choice. Moving on to question 3. Now we're a little bit further along in this scenario or project, and you now have a working SaaS application called Paymaster. And you're beginning to get praise from your initial customers, as well as some recognition within the banking industry. However, many of the companies you have approached have been reluctant to sign on. And I would caution you here, if you don't fully understand what an SaaS application is, you're going to want to look that up so that you understand how it works. The question, for these reluctant companies, which issue is most likely to prevent them from using your software? And of course, it'll be structured white space. And you'll have 75 words for your support. Is it A, loss of control of their data? B, security concerns? C, costs? Or D, performance and reliability? So choose the one that you think is most likely to prevent these reluctant companies from agreeing to use your software, and of course, support your choice. Question 4. Now we're going to really change the scenario. So you're no longer the creator of this software. Now you are the CIO of a company that has made the decision to move to Paymaster. Up to this point, the task that Paymaster performs was run on a separate server in the server room. Excuse me. It required an accountant to enter and process the data, a system operator to run, patch, back up, and update the software, and generally manage the system, hardware and software that were required to run the application. So here's your question. Which of these will still be needed when you move your company to Paymaster? Is it A, the hardware for the server? B, the software that runs on the server? C, the system operator? D, the space in the server room? Or E, the accountant? So which one of these will still be needed when you move your company to Paymaster? And of course, you'll have your 75 words in your structured white space format for your support. Now, this is one of those questions where there are some wrong answers. Okay? So be sure you think this through well, and then make your choice, and of course, support your choice. Moving on to question 5. Now, from these items, once you decide which ones may no longer be needed, question 5 is this. Which one is most likely to result in the most cost savings? Again, you have the same 5 choices: the hardware for the server, the software that runs on the server, the system operator, the space in the server room, or the accountant. Again, since there are some wrong answers in number 4, and there may be more than one, obviously, that won't be needed any longer. So that's what you're looking at in question 5. From the ones that won't be needed any longer, which one is going to result in the most cost savings? Again, be sure and support your answer. That is all the questions for this case. We will, of course, have our question and answer session via our virtual class meeting Monday night via the virtual classroom. So check your schedule, the Canvas calendar, or the listing in the virtual classroom for the specific date and time. So have your questions ready, and I'll see everyone there. Thanks for watching.